Morning, everyone. We'll just wait for another 2-3 minutes and maybe then we can start. Maybe just another minute and then we can start. Okay, maybe we can just start and people can join in as and when everybody joins in. We just waited for 5 minutes for all. Hi everyone, I'm Nalin Gagrani. I head the setup at Blue Pebble. We'll quickly run you through the last year's performance and few key indicators. And what we could do is, if there are question answers, let's run through the full presentation. Once the presentation is over, maybe then we can take the questions from each of y'all. I'll just quickly run you through. So broadly, we are going to take this up in terms of giving us the overall summary of what has happened, the trends of the last few years, current year's performance, the mix of revenue, which verticals it is coming from, some of the key projects which has won us awards. And last year when we had presented, we had actually also told you that how are we looking at the current year. And we've done those few strategic diversification and discussion on that. Obviously, the monies which came in, and we've done some interesting investments because of which we've got this growth. And how does the order book look like in terms of the first month of operation for the coming year? Certain activities which we have done for brand building, the whole aspect of about the culture and what we do, some awards, CSR, and the outlook for 26. This is broadly what we'll capture. Just take you through a quick video, which will give you a perspective of what the breadth and depth of our work is. Quickly, a minute and a half video, I'll just take you through that. Just coming to broadly the last year's performance, we've actually grown almost more than 100% in terms of the revenue side. We were roughly about 22.4 odd crores. Last year, we built into 45.6 crore. EBITDA margins have grown by a 27% increase, PAT by 35%. As of April, just the month of April, we have 10 CR of orders with us. And overall, CAGR, if you see, is about 82% odd that we've grown in. This is just the revenue table, which talks about how we started off from a 4 crore now to build up to a 45 odd crore in terms of the trajectory. How has it grown in? Last year, obviously, we diversified, and that's been the key in terms of moving forward. And we assume that that trend, if it continues, it will be a healthy trend going forward. These are the financial numbers. In terms of the revenue from operations is 45. EBITDA is about 6.5 crore. Margins have obviously a little bit dropped because we diversified into two new verticals, which are slightly good in volume, but the margins are slightly lesser. And there was a learning curve that we had in terms of the new business vertical. But we've entry into that is the first of its kinds for our kind of industry, and we assume that that business will take us to a larger pie, and we'll be able to stabilize the margins going forward. PAT, obviously, in terms of the first 6 months was much better. The second 6 months is slightly lower because of the two large diversifications that we took, and those are new learning curves for us. And I believe with the team now built up and our learnings on those curves, we'll be able to effectively grow in the next this coming year. Margins, as I was telling you, obviously has been affected because of this reason. So it's about 11%. And net worth obviously is larger because of the capital that we raised this year. If you see the structure that we have, the 45 crore consists of broadly 3-4 broad verticals. So our special branding is the one which we have been doing over the past 7 years, which has roughly grown about 10 to 12% over the last year, which is about 24 CR. The design and build vertical is the new vertical which we have diversified into. We'll further talk about it, but this is contributing to 30% of our revenue. On the digital immersive side, which is another piece which we have almost about 15% of our revenue is coming from there. And it is an interesting platform which we have been developing, and we've invested on that. We'll talk about it in further, which will possibly give us some revenue speed coming in the coming year. So it was under development. I will share about you what's the current projected on that. There is an interesting project that we did for Bank of America, which has won us award in the last year, and it's phenomenal. It was 1 million square feet, and we had done a full execution of our branding facility there. Then we talk about the rest of the verticals later on. I've got a small video to show you of that. Maybe I'll quickly run you through that also. In Chennai. Not 14 floors, and there are now 2-3 floors more coming in. In terms of the strategic diversification, we broadly, as I told you, we've diversified into a design and build vertical, digital immersive vertical. I will hand it over to my colleague, Shlok, who's managing the setup on the design and build side, and he'll take you through the assignments that we have done recently. Shlok, over to you.
Yeah, thanks. So hi, morning everyone. So before we go ahead and talk about this prestigious project that we handled for 3M in Bangalore, I'll just maybe give you a quick understanding of what we did in principle in terms of diversification for our design and build vertical. So earlier in our spatial branding vertical, we used to come in as a partner where, we design and beautify the office space for all of our clients. This was the first time in the history of our company where we engulfed the entire scope of the office fit out, meaning the office, which I will show you in the video here, was a complete bare shell. There was nothing done, and within a record timeline of about 90 days, we handed over the entire ready-to-use office space to the client. So this was a phenomenal feat in terms of an achievement that was done to us. Our team, in fact, very nicely handled about 14 to 15 vendor partners, and we were able to deliver this office space before contractually obligated timelines. So before just talking about the next project, I can just quickly take you through the video.
Yeah, also this is just to add to what Shlok has mentioned, this is obviously a 3M, all of us are aware it's a two and a half to $21 trillion company across, and to get a brand like us to start with this vertical itself was a tremendous achievement for our company. I'll just quickly run you through the video also. Art installations were done by their own product.
So moving on to another project that we executed was for the Adani Group. So this is the second project under this vertical, which we managed to deliver again before contractually obligated timelines. So this was a back office that we did an interior turnkey fit out for in Mundra in Gujarat. So if any of you guys know, Mundra is basically a very, very remote location within Gujarat, which is operated by Adani Ports and Trusts. So here, about the closest airport to Mundra is Bhuj, which is about 200 kilometers away, and basically it's an SEZ zone. So, getting material in, maintaining compliances for all our labors, making sure that everything is done as per specifications of Adani is a very, very tedious process. We again managed to deliver this in about 120 days. And this was a facility where people were, forced to work under very difficult conditions. So we managed to kind of make sure that the quality is delivered again. And just to showcase you what we achieved is another video here.
Just run you quickly on that so that we can have. This was in terms of compliments we got both from the clients, 3M, the top management, MD, and all of the people from US would also come down. And for Adani also, this is one of the best projects in that area that they have been able to develop. And the senior management at Adani is also pretty happy in terms of the way we had structured the professional approach and the quality of outputs that we had done. In terms of talking about strategic investments, quickly I'll ask my colleague Manoj to take up the overall thing. Obviously, we've diversified, so as well as some key elements of self-reliance we've been able to do through some interesting stuff that we did last year. One was on the platform. I'll take this up. So I was telling you that last when we presented to you all 6 months back, we were in the process of developing this platform, and we are happy to tell you that there were about 25 software engineers working on this platform, and this is one of its kind, actually a part of our industry. But since we have got connected almost all facilities head, all contractual firms, all architects, this is the next in a good extension as one of the things on the software digital side, where it predominantly there are 6 out of 20 modules. There are key 6 modules which are required on a daily basis for architects and facilities heads and operations heads, which are kind of ready. We have test piloted it in at least about 20 architects at the moment. We are expecting it to be launched in July. We will give you a demo eventually, which is there coming in, but it is streamlines operations, enhances efficiencies, helps people to work, and we have got integrated the recent AI modules. Just to give you an example is this, if it's a CAD layout which an architect uses on a daily basis, you can actually do a 3D render without actually asking for the 3D modules to be created, and visually the client can be seeing it on the same platform at a almost minuscule amount of time. So with AI coming in and with the chat GPT and other integrations that we are doing the visual modules, this will be effectively a very, very interesting tool to come out in the market. So you will see this growth and this module getting up and running in some time. This could be another revenue churner for us. So this is one which we are looking at. I'll give this to Manoj, my colleague, to talk about what we have done on the factory and in the investments here. Manoj, please take it up.
Yeah, hi, good morning, everybody. Good morning, all dear shareholders, investor community. Up to now, you have seen what we have done, some wonderful offices which we created. Now, I will take you to the back door where we work, the factory. Post our IPO, we, went ahead and established a 7,500 square feet factory wherein we took the best of the machines. We took an EFI UV machine, which is hardly around 8 or 10 machine in whole of India. It gives me the precision and at a very fast speed, we are able to work. Plus, recently, 15 days back, we commissioned a UV braille machine. It's the first machine in the whole of country, the first machine in India to be installed. It's 100% made in Japan by Mimaki. This machine has been installed because now what's happening, all our customers are basic multinationals, and for them, braille is mandatory. It's under the DAN compliance, we have to do it. So earlier it used to take a long time, but now with this machine, our speed of production is very fast and we are able to deliver the perfect, braille what is required. And in addition, we have already have the CNC machines, we have our laser machines, we have the best of the printing machine, which is 100% green and sustainable. This is from the house of HP, the latex machine. We have our own painting booth. So this gives us a lot of strength, to move ahead, and we are able to cut down a lot on timeline. That is the reason, as Shlok said, that we could deliver a project of Adani and a project of 3M much before the timeline, what the contractors has asked us, what the company had done. So that is one thing wherein we are going very strong.
I have a quick video to show what Manoj, you can just quickly talk about. This is about the UV braille machine, a brief description, but a quick video also to showcase that.
Yeah. Over to you, Nalin. Continue, please.
Thanks, Manoj. Thank you. The very first month of operations, we've been able to kind of garner about a 10.5 CR order, which is broadly broken out into. So we've got City coming in, we've got Visa, Air India is a continuous client of ours. We've got a hospital, which is one of the largest in North Delhi. We've got Infosys, which is a regular client, and there are others which are already in the pipeline, 2.5 crores, which is there. And there is a decent visibility that we assume to have in the next 2 to 3 months. There are certain large discussions happening with some majors where we expect certain decent amount of build up on revenue coming in. And also to give you a perspective that what had happened was last year, we had a dependency of 3 or 4 large clients, Infosys being one, HDFC being the other one. So this year, what has happened is we've kind of Infosys had slightly slowed down, so did HDFC, but we luckily got in a bit of newer clients which came in the portfolio last time. So that's been an excellent one, and within the fraternity, we've been able to grow in the environmental branding side. And as Shlok and what mentioned that the other vertical kicked in, which is the design and build vertical, and immersive verticals also kicked in for us. So those are the 2 verticals which we're able to grow revenue. And if you see the current spread also is fairly large. We've kind of worked with about almost 80 different brands, and which are all leading brands, and they are now coming back to us on an ongoing basis. we will be proud to say that we are one of the largest and the biggest in the fraternity of this niche sector. Also, we've been doing certain activities on brand building, which we will go more aggressive this year. So we've been kind of participating in last industry engagement, where we were one of the sponsors of the 22nd Smart Office Summit, where we met a lot of architects and senior industry leaders participating. We showcased our products, we showcased what we've done for different clients. So this gives an immense amount of visibility to us in various forums, and we will continue doing that. We were also present in ET as Leaders of Tomorrow. They had a capsule of about 20 minutes, which was there, which covered what we have done. There were question and answer session. They covered a factory. They talked about the future, what is there. And this was one big thing for us in terms of we being visible in one of the national television. Obviously, also the fact that we have building a culture of growth and innovations. So we do a lot of things which we are done internally to boost morale and to make sure that the employees are up and running in terms of their attitude, positive culture, all of that. And there are a lot of new people who have come on board. We do these quarterly events, monthly pat on the back, and all of those which are done in any of the large firms. We make sure that the employees are taken care of in all regards. We've also been one of the only companies in this sector getting an award, a gold award, which was done by the CII, and this was a World Design Council award, which was won by in a very large forum in Bangalore for about more than 500 large people who had attended this. And we won the India's 500 Business and Winner Visionary Entrepreneur Award and 3M's largest national sales awards. So this brings us to every year we've been kind of bringing in newer and newer awards and making sure that we are up and running. As I talk to you, we have a lot of consultancy firms who are with us. So we are doing work for BCG, we are doing work for PwC just now. We finished a Moody's assignment just now. So there are certain things in pipeline with large fraternities. So this gives us an immense amount of potential and revenue build up in the next year. We've also, since we've moved into design and build, we've got this BIFMA certification, ISO certification, which will help us to register with large companies like JLL, CBRE, who will help us to kind of bring in more RFPs into us, and then we can go and compete in the larger fraternity of the overall sector which is available to us. Obviously, as a goodwill and as an overall sector, we did participate in CSR programs, so that also is a healthy practice as far as we are concerned. In terms of the outlook, as I mentioned, we would grow aggressively in our own environmental branding side, which is a decent, healthy margin return business. There's a competing business which we are into, design and build, with capabilities building in and what we have learned over the last year. I'm sure we'll be able to capture a newer business and the immersive side of it. And with the platform coming in, we are hopeful this will be the first of its kind in India. Few people have attempted that. We have evaluated all of that, and we are building much more capabilities for people and ease of working, which I'm assuming that if we can get and spread it in the market, this could be another decent revenue channel, and it will be spread across India as and when we go. And we're building our team strength also, so that will be an interesting aspect. This is what I had from my side. Happy to kind of take in questions from all of you. Please feel free, and maybe we can have one by one people coming in, and then we can answer to each of your queries. You can just raise your hand, and maybe we can ask questions from if there are any from any one of you all.
You can also put your questions in the chat box. If there are any questions, you can also put it in the chat box, please. Thank you.
So if there are none, maybe we can call it a day. Another maybe a minute if there are any questions.
Ramesh has something, Nalan.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Just few questions.
Yeah,
First
sure.
is a very in-depth presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah. So my first question is regarding the clients. So how much does top 5 or top 10 clients contribute to our revenue?
See, now, luckily, as I told you, we've been able to kind of, there are deeper, we are going deeper with individual clients. But last year it was contributing to almost 50%. This year it would be about 25-30%. So we have spread ourselves into more clients, more revenue, and the chunk of 30% and 15% of revenue is coming from newer verticals. And that's the reason we've been able to kind of almost multiply it by double in terms of our revenue side. Obviously, there has been an impact on profits, but that is obviously as I explained it to you. But this is the way we are kind of expanding, and we'll make sure that the dependency on few of the clients which are regular to us is not there. We spread ourselves more into other verticals and other business side.
Got
And
it, sir.
the work which we are doing, it is just if we show this work to more number of people, people are really excited. And luckily for us, if you see any assignment which we do on design and build, this comes as a natural instinct to us. So we will be able to decorate much better than any other competing guys to us in this vertical of design and build. So that is the USP that we bring to table when we are competing with other guys.
Got it. And so I think in our November's presentations, we have mentioned that our order book is around 10 crores. So as of now, what's our order book size and
This is as of
what kind of
This is as of April. Just for the month of April, we are sitting with 10 crores. And I said there are a lot of pipeline which I can't tell you now because they're still under discussion. But we are very positive in terms of the closures of some of these, which are very big numbers.
Okay, got it, sir. And so final question, like what sort of guidance would you like to give for 26, 27 in terms of top line as well as margins?
See, numbers, I will not be able to disclose, but with the confidence that we have of the last year, imagine we were nowhere there in a immersive digital side, and in the DNB side, you are aware that there are so many players in DNB. When we were pitching for 3M, we had got 3 or 4 parallel competing guys who were having 25, 30 years of experience. It is sheer tremendous amount of relationship as well as the work which we have done, we were able to do it. Adani, being such a big conglomerate, will not give any assignment to a person who's not done anything. They saw our work, they saw our previous work, and they have given it. So with these 2, 3 large assignments and with the relationship and with people on board who are very senior people in the DNB industry, I think we'll be able to capitalize on those through credentials of ours, and we'll be able to take it to the business which would be growing in tremendously. Numbers I don't have at the moment, I cannot tell you, but we are working on those and we'll be able to deliver those numbers with a decent amount of profit margin.
Got it. And so just a last question. So what was the reason for major drop in EBITDA margins in our H2
I
FY25?
told you, if you have, in terms of the DNB industry, though the volumes are large, India is growing phenomenally. If you see GCCs are coming to India. So all the global majors are making their back-end centers in India, almost all of them. Recently, we have seen a drop, but I don't see that drop will continue. In fact, the markets have revived back again. On-ground investments are happening tremendous. The next 4 to 5 years are tremendous amount of growth for us, but there is enough and more competition in this area. So we bring in value to our environmental branding side because of the fact that we entered new. The margins were very less. We wanted to test, we want to learn. So hence we entered this vertical, but this vertical had to come in because it gives a tremendous amount of scale. In the environmental branding, it's a lot of efforts, but the margins are very healthy, but the volumes aren't there that much. So hence for us to keep growing in, we have to expand ourselves into the core areas. And hence you see the platform also coming in. That platform in my side, after seeing the development, what has happened is this could be another big one for us. We have still to test it in the market, but from the architects that we have tested it, it is a first good positive signs. And if we take it to across India with the experience, with the connects that we have, I think that will be another revenue channel which we can develop.
Nalin, if you can
Okay.
just see there's a chat from Mr. Gopi, you can just reply to him, please.
What is it that, please.
What risk do we anticipate that my Hinda ability to achieve our goals in the upcoming fiscal year. Nothing, I think.
Which is I just now said, Mr. Gopi, we are, as you see, these 2 or 3 newer verticals, apart from the core competency that we already have, we'll be able to drive revenues as well as healthy margin. Because we are into a competing world on the DNB side, obviously the margins are slightly shrink, but this will, so a healthy revenue mix if we carry, we'll be able to take it to the next levels in a decent manner.
There is one more from Ramya.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it says that other expenses have doubled, which has led to lower PAT. Could you give more details about that?
Yeah, so as I told you, expenses have been there in terms of hiring people, in terms of this, and we've invested a lot of that. Plus the fact that whatever we had done in terms of DNB, there were a lot of expenses towards that. So those are the ones which we have got, and hence the impact on the profitability part.
If I can just add to that, maybe a little bit about the expenses is that, we've recently just set up our factory. At an initial stage, we did encounter a lot of expenses, but going forward, since we now take up more of the stuff in-house, we can see that these expenses would be going down.
Yeah, as well as we are also marketing ourselves in terms of these forums and places. So we, as a brand, we are very new. We are pretty young as a brand at the moment. And as we grow into other verticals, we need to be visible. And those are some of the expenses which are also there, which any company would have to do to kind of scale its business.
Nalin, as there are no more questions, let's say thanks to them and close it.
The last question, maybe we can take up. Sagar, you had something?
Yeah. So, hi Nalin, how are you? Nalin, I wanted to know what are your current employees right now?
We have 70 people on board at the moment. Offices at all 4 metros. Core is Bombay, obviously, where we have the entire setup here in Bombay.
So this tech team is also in-house or outsourced?
This tech team is outsourced, and we are going to partner it as we go along. There is a understanding of memorandum with them in terms of going forward a backend thing. As and when the market demands, there will be a upgrade on the product which is there. So there is a strategic partnership we are working on. Today we have invested in it, but we are going to partner with them going forward, so that we have a stability on the product. As in when we move in, there is an upgrade which keeps happening on the product.
And what is your, long-term sustainable EBITDA margins, if you can guide? Because the margin fluctuation is there.
Yeah, it is there. As I told you, we moved from a plain vanilla vinyl to a 3D to an immersive. These are environmental branding does give you a scope of decent margins, but as you move into other verticals, we will be able to kind of slightly scale the thing. But I'm saying that margin should hover around 15%, 17% is what our assumption is.
Okay, so this design and build up, so you do the design and all the setup of the. You said that these margins are lower in this segment, but don't you think this margin should be higher because it's kind of integrated operations?
No. Some of these are, if you go into the industry, these are very straight and cut. People are aware about what a chair costs, what a table costs, what is a painting cost, what is a carpet cost. These are all given, so that not too much of play is there. You can add value to the environmental branding. You can add value on the CHI side. You can add value in terms of the service side that you are doing. So these are all given aspects which are there. So there are not too much of margins to play around there. It's about efficacy, driving volumes, and what you can do internally.
So on that front, so how is our datas are going to be like? The recently year datas have increased to 100 days. So we can expect this kind of intense working capital going forward also, or do you see that we will be able to?
Yeah, I will ask my colleague Anil to kind of pitch in on this. Anil, go ahead.
Sagar, actually, this data, as you are reflecting in terms of ratio, is around 100 days. But basically, I would like to trade that in the month of March itself, we have crossed the turnover of around 9 crore. So effectively, if we look at the data patch, which is around 12 crore, is for 2 months only.
Oh, okay.
And some of these are actually getting in. So some of them are 45 days kind of thing, so which comes back to us immediately. So I don't see that as an issue at all. And then luckily for us is that we also have credits from the vendors that we get. So it's a cycle which keeps us healthy in that sense.
So, when you enter into the manufacturing, so are you going to use that manufacturing facility for in captive use only, or you will be expanding and supplying to other players also?
No. So currently we have enough and more volume for our own captive consumption. If there is a need and we believe that it is required to be done, obviously we have state-of-art facility. And if there is anybody else who wants to use the facility, obviously we will not be shying away from that, and we will take that up to ensure
And can you
capacities are utilized.
Okay. And can you just share how the whole process of getting a tender to, how much time it takes to build up and what is the payment cycle works in this industry?
This industry typically, obviously, once the tender comes in, it is floated in with various other people also. Then there is either an L1, L2, L3 process which comes in, and if you win the bid, typically it takes about, depending upon the scale of operations, we are targeting ourselves to be there less than 50,000 square feet and below. So there are enough and more projects on that. We don't want to go into high-end projects because we've just kind of entered into that side. It typically takes about 120 days to finish off this end-to-end from scratch to everything, and provided the sign-off from the client happens. And that's the industry norm which it happens on this side.
And the
So
payment,
obviously,
how does it?
payment is also, it's regular. So once you pick up the project, there is an initial advance, deployment advance, and then once you are signed up, there are three tranches, R1, R2, R3. As in when you submit the bills or whatever has been done, it is audited, signed off, and the bills are released. So it's a 45, 50 days kind of a scenario from the last bill onwards, and your regular payments keep coming in. So I don't see that as a problem. If you're working with good clients and good people, that's not an issue.
Thank you,
Great.
Sagar, for your questions.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, Nalin, let's wind off. You can just say thanks to everybody.
Yeah, thanks everybody, and we are happy to kind of have this engagement going forward. We'll announce it maybe every 3 months or 4 months or 6 months, whatever. We anyway have this, but we are happy to kind of have that all of you took out time and heard our this, and I'm sure that we'll be able to do such tremendous amount of work which we are already doing, scale to a further level, and make sure that we are amongst the best in this industry on the verticals that we are managing. Thanks a lot for all of your time once again.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.